So since this is 3:40, let me introduce myself once again. The first Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum, the final session opened. I'm your MC again. My name is Eun-mi. I met you at the opening session. So before we begin the session, I'd like to invite a very special guests who are honoring this occasion with their presence. Whenever their name is called, please welcome with a big round of applause. The organizer of the forum, he must have been busy today and yesterday. Chairman Moon Dae-rim of JDC, please welcome with a big round of applause. Also, we are joined by Miss Professor Lee Moon-jung from Kongshu University. We're joined by Mr. Kang Seung-soo, the Director of the Planning of JDC. Also, Mr. Park Chul-lee of the same institution is with us today, who is in charge of the investment. We are also joined by the agent of this forum, the young leaders. Please give another round of warm applause to yourself. So thank you so much for staying with us until the very end of the forum. Now, this is the very last session, and I believe that there should be many messages you want to deliver to young leaders. I'd like to invite first Chairman Moon Dae-rim for his closing remark. Please welcome with a big round of applause once again.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dae-rim Moon, Chairman and CEO of JDC. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Lee, who is gracing this event until the very end, and our online participants. Thank you for your active participation and support you have shown throughout this forum, which has now come to an end. I would like to thank everyone who took part in planning this event and also distinguished guests for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here with us. Over the last 2 days, here in Jeju, we have had a very meaningful time exploring the role of young leaders for sustainable development and peace. Surrounding the main agendas that are environment, peace, and youth employment, we could engage in vibrant exchanges of ideas through multiple sessions, including special dialogue session. Based on our understanding of the calls of the time and unfolding changes, creative ideas were generated, and we could see that preemptive actions of ours can actually bring sustainable future. The heated discussions and debates we had helped us to think about the challenges we will face from young people's perspective, and we could deeply feel the need for change. And based on our mutual understanding, we mustered our wisdom to derive solutions. To make sure that the heated debates and new revelations do not stop here, we need continued interest and support after this forum. Actions centered around the youth can certainly be the cornerstone for the sustainable future. Young people who think first, speak first, and act first are true leaders. And I most certainly believe and expect that these young leaders will initiate changes to change the course of future. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change, pandemic, intergenerational conflicts, and international tensions and many other common challenges we face as humanity are only exacerbating. Against this backdrop, we need future generations to lead and act. It is time for young leaders around the world to get together to communicate more, to create a close cooperative system. I hope today's discussion has planted a seed. Until our thoughts and actions spread out, take root, and grow into a big tree, we JDC will be there to support your growth so that we can help you usher in the days of human prosperity. The Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum Jeju has made its first step this year. We will continue to merge creative young ideas with old wisdom and provide a platform for rich and vibrant discussions, and I ask for your continued support in this regard. To conclude, I wish you have made some precious memories here in Jeju, and I hope we can meet you again in the second forum next year. I thank you again for your passion and support, and I wish all of you health and happiness. Thank you.
네, 고맙습니다, 이사장님.
Thank you, Chairman Moon, for your closing remark. Actually, the agent of this forum is young leader you yourself, and he said that he will support you to the fullest so that you can grow and prosper. Please give him another round of applause because he worked in day and night to make it happen. So for the last 2 days, yesterday and today, did you enjoy it? Okay, so we communicated, and did you had a good time to exchange other ideas with others? So actually, we create a video clip out of this forum, and please direct your attention to the screen.
이번 포럼이 미래의 새로운 희망을 만드는 작지만 의미 있는 출발점이 될 것으로 기대합니다.
I hope the Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum will become the valuable platform for youth to exchange ideas and devise common strategies.
우리가 이루고 싶은 가치를 만들어가는 부분으로 창업, 스타트업 등과 관련된 다양한 접근도 이어질 수 있을 것입니다.
Congratulations to all of you for the first ever Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum.
Let us work together to make this world better for all.
I hope it will be a meaningful time to think about Green City with Green City Ambassador. Take action for Green City.
지금 아태형 리더스 포럼이 일성이 아닌 지속성을 갖고 제주도에 있는 청년뿐만 아니라 전국에 있는 시민들에게 동기가 되는 포럼이 되었으면 하는 바람입니다. 화이팅!
네.
So, I believe that your faces were included in this video clip. So now it is time for the young leaders to be invited onto the stage. So all the pre-designated speakers, please come onto the stage. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. So please take your seat. So you just saw the video clip, and your enthusiasm were felt in the video, and I have a great and high expectation for this final session as well. Under the theme of UNI Story of the Youth, we are going to talk about the main agent of the forum, you young leaders. We have chapter first and chapter second, and for the chapter first, we're gonna talk about the encounter with the young leaders, and in the second part of the session, I'm gonna talk about the Young Leaders Forum from the perspective of youth. We have 4 people at the venue, and we have another guest at the online platform. Mr. Miss Shiniju, are you there? So can you introduce yourself shortly?
Good afternoon. I was born and raised in Jeju, and I worked in diverse places, but now I'm currently living in Mosulpo, Jeju, and currently operating a bookshop called Anotherpage, and my name is Shin Eui-joo. I've worked in the fields of international cooperation as an activist. And with my sister, who worked as a education trip planner, I wanted to think about how we can communicate and how we can live as global citizens, and that is why I created this place, bookshop. In the bookshop, you can find books about Jeju region, environment, literature, liberal arts, independent publication, and so on and so forth. We want to understand the society through the lens of environment, locality, and human rights, and we want to make sure that the minority is involved in our stories, along with diverse agents. I plan for this space. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your good introduction. You speak very well. I wish I can go there once. Thank you. And I'd like to give the floor to Kang Naru because you're assistant manager of the seed grower.
Good afternoon. I'm a seed agent Kang Naru, and I bridge indigenous seeds to our daily lives. I currently participating artists in the Project Jeju at the same time, curated at the Jeju Museum of Art, and through crowdfunding, I recently published a book titled Seeds in Daily Lives, based on my experience of growing seeds in 6 years. Thank you for your diverse experience. And representing the youth ambassador, I have Seong-hwan here. Hello.
Hello everyone. So I'm the young ambassador of the first Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum, and at the City Hall, I work as a youth leader. So with the panelist members on the stage and with you audience, I'm going to talk about the sustainable peace and prosperity as a young leader, and it is my great honor to be part of it. Thank you so much for your kind participation. Then I'd like to give a floor to Raisa Maulida HILMIYATI.
Selamat sore. Gentlemen, my name is Raisa Maulida. I'm currently pursuing bachelor degree in political science and diplomacy and Asia Business International Studies. And I am here as representative of the Green City Ambassador by GDC and UN Habitat Korean Committee. Thank you.
Thank you for your generous. 네, 계속해서 마지막으로 우리 강현.
Finally, on the stage, we have Assistant Manager Kang Hyun-min of Jeju Free City Development Center. As also introduced, I'm working in the Partner Division of JDC. My name is Kang Hyun-min. I'm responsible for the training and education of the employees, and it has been 10 months since I joined this institution. So I'm a little bit inexperienced, but I'm very much helped by my colleagues, and it's my great honor to be part of it. So you worked for less than a year, and now you're here to represent the voice of JDC. Yes, correct. So I have a very good expectation to you as well. So in the first chapter, like I said, I'm going to talk about the youth leaders who are working for the sustainability. So we are joined by these outstanding figures. First, for the sustainable future and society, I have a question to you. Kang Naru, first. You said that you have multiple occupations and you are full of ideas, I believe. So what motivates you to engage in this seed agent activities?
Bringing indigenous seed into our daily lives, I have currently worked with diverse artists and peasants and farmers. And since I couldn't describe what I do using the existing job titles, I just named myself Seed Agents because I want to bridge the world using seeds. So by seed, you mean a lot of things, right? And you use seeds as a medium or a bridge to link diverse parts of the world. Thank you. Then why did you start working in this field with so many diverse ideas? Yes. Then I am going to deliver a PPT presentation, and I think in my presentation you can listen to the answer of the questions you just raised. Thank you.
So we have Eui-joo on the Zoom platform. So what motivates you to start this Anotherpage?
For me, from the get-go, actually I didn't dream of opening a bookshop or bookstore. As a uni student, I kind of was interested in diverse social issues. In particular, the global movement, fair trade, this was the area I got interested in. And then I spent 6 months in the Philippines communicating with local residents as part of the service group and volunteering group. And back then, I visited Garbage Island Village, so-called Garbage Islands. And in one alternative school there, I could meet a lot of friends and I could learn a lot from them. And based on that, in Mongolia and Sri Lanka and many other places, I worked as an international development cooperation agent, especially in Mongolia. Because of the climate change, people cannot engage in nomadic lives and they had to go to the urban area, and they created this urban poor class, and I could witness what it is like to be an urban poor, and I started working for the slums in the Mongolia. From the perspective of human rights, did a lot of things to improve individuals' rights or one social groups' rights, but I could actually feel that this requires not the efforts of that specific group in person, but the entire countries and the entire world. And after coming back, I worked in the social contribution team of one company, but I could see that the company was only interested in creating good image with money. So I felt that this is not the way to go. To solve environment, poverty issues, and migration and female and women-related issues, I wanted to solve and address these issues from the local perspective, and that is why I started operating a bookshop. And one of the friends I started working on bookshop with used to be a teacher for alternative schools. She used to travel around the world and around the country to teach kids. And we are currently operating a small bookshop, which is oftentimes called neighborhood bookshop for global citizens. We want to make sure that in the bookshop, you just not buy or consume book. Through a book, you can read the trends of the world and think locally and act locally. That is why we are very serious in curating the books, and we focus on diverse topics such as environment, locality, human rights, diversity, and the books that does not exclude minorities. And my favorite phrase is think globally and act locally. So that would be the motto of my bookshop. Thank you.
So you said that you're running a very small store, but actually there are very big beam inside of your bookstore. So you have a fantastic occupation. And Kang said that you prepare a presentation to tell a story. So can you start?
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak in this prestigious stage. I enjoy demonstrating traditional values through the form of visual arts such as sculpture and so on and so forth. And here in Jeju, I could actually grow a lot of indigenous seeds, and with that, I felt like I am creating pieces of life through the seeds, and all the vague scenes I only imagined, I thought that these images are encapsulated in the seeds. And indigenous seeds are the seeds that is traditionally growing in the climate or the territory, and they can be divided into two categories: domestic species, local variety, and the wild species. And I think this seed sounds like a very far away story because you oftentimes imagine grandpas, grandmas, or the documentaries, but the seeds actually have a long history, and I wanted to experience this long story that the seeds embody. That is why I became a part of the Korean Women Peasant Association to grow and collect seeds. And as for the indigenous seeds, this activity is actually done a lot by females. That is why I am currently working in Sisters Garden Jeju community and also KWPA Jocheon branch. So I do a lot of activities regarding indigenous seeds, collecting it and sowing and so on and so forth. And I'm building more and more experiences regarding seeds. And with that, I can see what I couldn't see before. I could actually feel the vitality of the seeds, which made me more attracted to the seeds. I could learn a lot more seeds, and I became devoted to make sure that we can carry these indigenous seeds over to the future generation. So seeds are what I do, and seeds are the purpose of what I do. So I engage in a lot of activities such as the arts where you can actually sense seeds, and I am trying to make sure that households can utilize seeds when cooking so that the future generation have an exposure to the indigenous seeds that is disappearing in our modern lives. And going forward, make sure that traditional seeds can exist in the future area. As a seed agent, I want to engage in more and more activities. And on this occasion, I want to take a look at the current and the future of seeds from the three perspectives and suggest some of the future activities that we can all do. Seeds preserve themselves and seeds can reproduce themselves, but that does not apply to all seeds. In the market, some of these seeds that you buy was made after the biotechnology in the 1980s. With the BT technology, we could modify the seeds, and sometimes these seeds are only bioengineered to be single-use seeds. So next year, you're gonna have to buy another batch of seeds. That means it affects a lot to the farmers who rely on seeds. Seeds is a strategic resource in biotechnology and is constantly being modified. And some of these seeds are protected by IP and the patent right. But the thing is that the rights belongs to the seed companies, not farmers. And many big companies were actually acquired by multinational companies. With that, we do not have a Korean seed company which lost ground to manufacturing companies, and multinational companies in the field of seed. Sorry about this. These multinational companies compete fiercely with each other over the IP right of seeds, and we do have monopoly in this field. They own patent rights, they own IP. With that, the prices of seeds is only growing. And seed is only viewed from the money perspective. And if we just continue to think from this perspective, this can actually decrease and harm the biodiversity of the world and can undermine the food security and the sovereignty. The diversity of the crops that we grow is in line with the sustainable relations that we always have had with foods. If we lose seeds, we lose traditional wisdom that we have inherited from our ancestors. So from the food perspective, seeds should not be viewed as an industrial perspective. We should view seeds as part of our daily lives. Traditional seeds maintain their characteristics in next round and next year, and they can maintain their characteristics, they can carry their characteristics over to next generation. In the seed industry, developing seed, exporting seed, and developing more diversity is of course important, but we have to make sure that we maintain the traditional value of the seeds as well. And secondly, we have to think about the traditional way of cultivating seeds. In the agriculture sector, the genetically modified seeds require the chemicals and the pesticides, herbicides that feed the seeds specifically. However, the use of chemicals lead to the loss of organic matter, and farmers who have to use these chemicals, whether they like it or not, becomes a victim and a perpetrator of these practice. And the use of these modified seeds leads to the condition where more diseases can occur, and this leads to the destruction of the ecosystem, which of course puts burden to the environment. That is why I believe seeds issue is related to the environment issue as well. And climate change is related to food security as well. Indeed, the climate of the Korean Peninsula is transforming itself from the temperate one to subtropical one. And with the advance of technology, we're talking a lot about smart farms. But traditional seeds and indigenous seeds actually help us to do the eco-friendly farming because they evolved to the environment naturally over time. That means we can protect the nature and still engage in farming. So I believe that the producers should be linked to, should be put into a very virtuous circle. Seed is a living organism. We have to plant seeds and make sure that we collect seeds from the crop that we have created from the seeds so that we can remain and maintain the vitality of the seeds. And even when we do not know well about this industrial landscape of the seeds, I think we at least should know more or know better about the food that we eat. I believe you know GMO or genetically modified organism. This technology emerged, and after that, despite the continuous demand of the civic societies, we are consuming a lot of GMO products in Korea. Actually, we are one of the top countries in terms of GMO consumption. Many argue that GMO comes with benefits, but the pesticides and the chemicals that are applied to GMOs are some of the strongest sorts. And GMO does not necessarily give a lot of nutritional benefits over natural ones as well. Indigenous seeds, of course, include non-food ones like cotton, but protecting indigenous seeds is oftentimes related to our food life and food culture. And agriculture leads to food, and food leads to culture. And when maintaining seeds, we can protect our food culture, and with that, we can learn the wisdom that had been inherited to us from our ancestors, which will ultimately enrich our lives. I believe you have a lot to say, but can we wrap up here maybe? I think you have 10 pieces of paper here. I think you indeed value how important this stage is. With that, everything began with a small grain of seeds. One grain of seed can lead to thousands of lives, and our small activities to maintain such seeds can amount to our effort to preserve the sustainable future. I hope protecting seeds in line with the sustainable way of life in the pandemic times. Thank you.
오늘 이 자리를
So I think through this occasion, you must have a lot of things to share with, and I think you thought that this is one and only opportunity to say about your seeds, and I give you my applause for your seed-related effort. So she taught us what kind of attitude we have in our lives. So I have a common question to all of you. So in your own position for the sustainability and future, what should be the role of the youth? I have this question to Mr. Seong-hwan first. What do you think? Actually, the previous speaker beautifully summarized everything I should say, and actually, I'm under this spotlight and I'm sweating a little because of this hot light. Actually, I was discharged from military 3 months ago, and as you know, on this island there are so many young activists or venue, institution, facilities for young leaders. Among them, I'd like to pick one in my presentation. I worked for the Jeju Youth Center, and I was worked as a program planner back then, and the theme of the travel was back then was eco-friendly travel to Udo Island. I designed this traveling package because there are so many people who are kind of swarming into the Jeju Island and even to Udo Island. And I believe that there are many people who are saying that there was so much waste on this island. So as a young leader, I saw it, I observed it, and I wanted to practice something like zero waste campaign or plug-in waste campaign so that young leaders can actually involve in this kind of campaign to learn a lesson and share the lesson with others regarding the importance of the plastic-free island or waste-free island. The ultimate message I want to deliver is that at this forum, we are continuously saying that sustainable peace or environmental preservation are important. Earth is being damaged, and these ideas can be talked by anyone. Because since this is a forum, let me use English. Just do it. Just do it literally means do it. And actually, this is one of my favorite slogans. So we can think, however, putting that into practice is something that makes difference to the environment of Jeju Island or the global issues, including the environmental preservation related issues. So this is such urgent issues, and we can put our ideas into practice only if we act. Our individual act might be trivial, but like the ripple effect of social network in this 21st century, we can mimic that kind of reflect effect as a young leaders, so that our individual activities will create a huge reflect effect if they are combined. Zero waste campaign or delivery waste cleaning and recycling campaign can be some of the examples we can act. So by doing so, we'll be able to work for the sustainable of Asia-Pacific region or environmental preservation or all those marine waste coming onto the seashore of the Jeju Island. We can provide solution by act. Thank you. So you talked about the Marine Plus and Zero Waste campaign, and just do it. That touched my heart. So without just any thinking, just do it would be the message you really want to deliver on the stage, I believe. So let me give the floor to Raisa Maulida Haleti.
Thank you for the floor. So during my experience as a Green City Ambassador, I have learned that youth itself has very important role in creating sustainable city. And we have learned in our research that in a lot of countries, especially for instance in Africa, they have their own campaign, for example, Bring Your Own Bag campaign that aims to raise awareness of the importance of reducing single plastic use. And another example is we can take from the Korea itself. Millennials are trying to create a corporation, and one of those, for example, is the Pong Tea that the campaign team has already researched. And they aim to plan and sold zero waste scoop ship tea, Pong Tea, to reduce general waste. Aside from that, I would like to tell to all of youth around the world that our role or our step should not always be huge. We can start from the smallest step in our life. For example, we can walk, we can ride a cycle, and we can take public transportation instead of taking our own private cars. And also, we could also try to bring our own bag as the campaign in Africa. Or we can also become a science literate citizens that start to take information and filter the false information before we share it to other youths around the world. And by contrast, we could also take significant steps, for example, by engaging in policymaking and social participation, or even creating job opportunities or programs that contribute to sustainability, especially in Jeju. And lastly, by participating in various events that could give us more profound knowledge and raise awareness to fellow youth all over the world.
Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. 예, 굉장히 다양한 사례와 또 의견.
You shared many examples and ideas. So now it is time to give the floor to Mr. Kang Hyun-min, responsible for the personal affairs of the JDC. The floor is yours. To begin with, sustainability, this term is very relevant to our future. especially this forum selected it as a keyword, peace and environment, and these two keywords are something we need to respect for the sustainable future. However, the importance of the peace and environment are recognized by many, but me and other young leaders are some kind of burdened to put those into practices, and maybe we were kind of insufficient in terms of the effort of putting those into practices. So I think this forum has been a venue where we can remind of the importance of those two keywords. So like Mr. Chun said, no plastic campaign can be one good example. And in my case, actually, I work for the industrial development team and I engaged in this micro mobility program. I don't have my passenger car, so that was very convenient to me. However, maybe we can reduce the carbon within this island or within the country, and I was a part of this contribution, I believe, and also much rewarded. So you are working for the carbon reduction of the Jeju Island, so you have my respect. So I'd like to give the floor to Kang Naru this time.
네.
Thank you. I feel sorry that I couldn't finish what I wanted to deliver in the previous presentation, but I hope that I will have another opportunity going forward. The diversity that is carried away from the seeds, carried to us with the seeds, should be maintained in our daily lives. And as for the indigenous seeds in the industry and in our daily lives, they are very precious resources, but they cannot directly apply to the farming industry. But we are just passing burden to smallholders and farmers, and I think that should not be the case, right? Because this will be ultimately the responsibility of the future generations. So what I am trying to say is that we have to take care of what we eat, and also there are some local farmers market, and using this local farmers market will help us achieve sustainability. Thank you.
So I believe that our agricultural industry can prosper more than we can expect if we have more people like you. Ms. Shin, you have the floor this time.
Thank you. I want to separate sustainability and the role of youth. As for the sustainability, what do we mean? I think we have to think about what aspect of Jeju we love. What makes Jeju Jeju? From Jeju, we imagine like blue oceans. However, enjoying blue scenery and blue oceans, staying in luxurious resorts, and creating carbons and using like gourmet food is something that you can enjoy in every other islands outside of Jeju. However, all the Jeju local authorities and the tourism organizations are trying to mimic what other islands are doing, I guess. And this requires larger land, and this requires larger budget, and this will take space away from local Jeju residents. So instead, I think we have to find what makes Jeju Jeju from the traditional practices that we have had in the past. Maybe in a small petite stonewall house of Jeju, we can grow fresh ingredients from the family garden. And these types of activities and the practices should be the embodiment of Jeju, I guess. And I think this will help Jeju become more sustainable. In the future generation and in the current generation, environment and sustainability are indeed two important keywords. We are enjoying abundance in materials. We are sharing the limited resource that is nature at such a low prices, and we use it, actually abuse it, and throw them casually away. So at this moment, I think the youth generation should pay attention to this juncture. Sorry, let me get my mask off. In the modern lives, we tend to think everything from the economic indicator perspective. The youth generation We're educated to think everything from the economic perspectives, to be able to think diverse issues from economic perspectives. But then I think we have to break out of this framework and try to think about the deep meaning of what is life. High income or good job opportunities, does that necessarily lead to individual happiness? And in this free, fierce competition era, what individuals are achieving and where do you want to go ultimately in your life? And I think these are the questions that the youth generation should ponder upon to broaden our horizon. I think youth generation should focus on experiencing a lot of things. With that, they have to find link between themselves and the local community, and this will help young generation understand that their issues are actually related to social issues and community issues, the environment, poverty, migration, and many other societal issues should be narrowed down to individual issues in order for the young generation to take this issue personally. And from my perspective, they can start working on broadening their horizon and think this problem as their individual problem and the local problem, their national problem, and the global problem. All the societal issues are oftentimes felt as individual problems in lucky cases, and if that's the case, they can engage in many other activities such as political participation and many other diverse movements at the community level or even beyond. So I think what youth has to do is to take care of what is going on surrounding them in the community. In this regard, environment issue, gender issue, veganism, and the many other animal rights and so on and so forth, all those diverse issues are capturing people's attention and active discussions are going on, and I welcome this movement. And as a young person myself, I hope that we continue to speed out the difficult issues that we have to talk about, and creating space where young generation can gather together to discuss issues is the role I have to take. Thank you.
So you talked about the importance of the engagement and participation into the environment you are surrounding with. Listening to the presentation of the fine people, I believe that we can shape the sustainable future together. Please give them a warm round of applause for their hard work. So you are doing very good job, and as a person from the established generation, I believe that this forum is such a good forum, and I give my applause to Chairman Moon. So let me move on to the second chapter of the discussion without further ado. This time we're going to discuss your impression on this forum. Mr. John and Ambassador Raisa, what was your impression? What motivated you to take part in this forum? Let me give the floor to Mr. John first. To begin with, I decided to join the forum because actually on this Jeju island, one of the greatest concern is environmental concern for me, so I decided to work for the supporters. Actually, personally, I'm a student of the Jeju University, and I wanted to introduce one youth organization called the Dodam Studio. They do know that you can create a head out of 15 caps of the bottle. They collect the caps of the bottle by themselves and create a head out of them. So I believe that the bottle caps were very interesting. So I thought that those in their 20 or 30s has very strong initiative, and based on their travel experiences, we can do more than that. Maybe we can give eco-friendly travel kit to the incoming travelers, and that will be my next plan. And personally, I believe that through this forum, I took part in every session possible, and I was very much agreed with what people have to say. And I told you that Udo Island is fraught with the waste, so each region need to create a very innovative landfill areas. For example, landfill areas we can dual and double as the ski resort or the garden as well. So, like Chairman Moon just said, I want you to make a promise. So this forum is something I was very much rewarded and contented with. So I hope that this forum, like the theme of today, can be sustainable or can even become one of the most representative forum in this region. So can you make a promise for us? Thank you so much for your promise. This concludes my talk. So I think you can say no whenever people say something on the stage. So you need to make a good on promise. So next, Liza.
So personally think that I should step on and start my own steps to take the environmental campaign and sustainability, especially in Jeju. And therefore, I have joined a lot of diplomatic conferences, such as Model United Nations or environmental webinar. And from those experiences, I got to exchange many ideas with youth all over the world. However, I thought that my contribution for real society is too passive, and therefore I decided to join Green City Ambassador to further utilize and share my knowledge with fellow youth. I am very grateful to participate in the research team along with other two members here in front of me. I would like to say thank you so much for my team leader and other two members, also the other members that support me. And to be very honest, that during 2 months experiences, I face a lot of challenge, especially in language barriers. But again, my team members, as well as GDC and also UN Habitat Korean Committee, were very passionate and also assist me a lot during these difficult times. And during 2 months of serving as Green City Ambassador, I learned how to research into country's policy and also give recommendation, especially for Jeju. And I hope that our recommendation is also applicable for other cities around the world. And I'm becoming aware of that individual and companies as well as countries have their own roles to create sustainable society. And also, I realized that influential misinformation campaign, fabricated controversies, selective media exposures, alternative facts, and false media balance could lead to confusion among the citizens and even threaten the environmental progress. Furthermore, with this experience, I could try to get out my comfort zone, engage with astounding youth here, and also I hope that I could contribute even a little bit to sustainability in Jeju.
Thank you. I hope you next year we meet. 정말 좋은.
So that was beautiful memory you made on this island and cases you collected. So personally, I was very relieved that you did so. Next year, another big forum has to be prepared again to collect more voices from the young leaders and put those into practices. So maybe next year, this should be the theme or major talks. So maybe I'll give the floor to Eui-joo. What do you think?
Next year, hopefully the COVID-19 will be over, and I hope we can meet everyone in person. I hope that we can have a little more detailed topic over which we can make discussions. We can maybe invite citizens to let them participate in such discussions. Thank you.
More variety should be there in the next year's forum with a face-to-face meeting. What do you think, Kang-naru?
I also think that although this forum is focusing on youth, I hope that we can invite people from other generations so that we can make sustainable discussion regarding Jeju.
So that sustainability should be also applied to this forum, and it has been emphasized multiple times. What do you think, Mr. Kang? Likewise, next year, I'm not sure I will be invited to this forum as a speaker again, but I wish I can have more this kind of opportunity. So the commonality among 5 would be, since this is the first, we collected many voices, and since this is the first, there could be some insufficient areas, but taking that into account, we'll need to come back with richer contents. And that would be the summary of the 5 people's talks, and please give them a warm round of applause once again. So for the last 2 days, we had a marathon discussion, and you participated continuously from beginning till the end. So the first Asia-Pacific Leaders Forum would have been informative to you, I believe, organized by JTC and hosted by the East Asia Foundation. Despite the COVID-19 situation, we worked with 6-part institution. It took more than a year to prepare the session with distinguished guests. We offered 14 sessions successfully, and as a result, more than 400 people participated in this forum, both online and offline, and I believe that this allowed the forum to grow as one of the most representative forums in this field. Please give them a warm round of applause if you agree with my impression. So, as a token of celebration, the key word of the forum will be expressed in this special performance. So, young leaders, do you have the banner? You will receive the banner that has the keywords of the forum: environment, peace, jobs, sustainability, action, young leaders, and the title of the forum. So we have 9 boards, so I think you need help. Actually, Chairman, can you come onto the stage? Professor, you too, please come onto the stage. And the one who had eye contact with me, 3 figures, young leaders, please come onto the stage. So come onto the stage and hold 1 each. Environment, peace, job, sustainability, action, young leader, initiate. Actually, Professor, can you go to a little bit to the right? So environment should come first. Who holds the environment? So please come closer to me. This is the final performance, so we need to have a good picture. So we need to follow the instruction well. Environment first, peace next, employment, sustainability, action, young leader. So all these boards represent the keywords of the young leaders and the forum. Please come closer to me. So is it okay? Does it have to be more horizontal? Environment, peace, employment, sustainability, action, young leaders, initiative are the key leaders of the forum and Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum Jeju. These are the identities of the forum completed. Please give them a warm round of applause once again. So that concludes the first Asia-Pacific Young Leaders Forum. We need to close our curtain here. Oh, actually, can you wait? Young supporters and ambassador, everyone please come onto the stage. We will have very fun picture together with everyone. Young leaders, ambassadors, please all come onto the stage.
자, 서포터즈 여러분들.
All the supporters, you did a very good job, and ambassador, thank you so much for your hard work. Chairman Moon should be at the center of the stage, and everyone please come onto the stage so that we can take a photo together. This will be the finale of the forum. And I think this title is very timely. The Asia-Pacific Young Leader Forum, the role of young leaders for sustainable development and peace in the Asia-Pacific region is the theme of the forum. So please face forward to the camera. So as we take a photo together, let me give you the closing remark. Thank you so much for your participation in this closing session, young leaders. And this forum ends here, but I believe that through this forum, you were inspired, I believe. Think first, talk first, act first. Just do it would be the spirit of the young leaders who will help us to shape a better future. So thank you so much for your participation in this 2-day-long forum, as well as many online participants for your participation. So we will take final commemorative picture. Please let others know about the forum so that we can meet at the second forum once again. Why don't we say fighting when we say picture? One more. Please wave your hands. Why don't we clap? Good job. So, you are the leader of the forum, and this forum would not have been possible without you. If you go outside at the lobby, you can scan QR code and join the survey. If you plan to go to the Jeju airport at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, from the Land Convention Center entrance, we have a shuttle bus that goes to the airport for your reference. So thank you so much for your participation.